I have bags under my eyes because I had my first accounting exam today. I almost cried. I almost ran out of time. I don't even know if I passed, and all I have to show for it are these bags. Hey guys, so I wanted to come on before the video real quick and let you guys know that this is the last content that I filmed way in advance. Everything from here on out will be much more recent, and I also wanted to let you guys know that I have a plan to do what I'm going to call Swiftsgiving in November, which is going to be a new Taylor Swift related video every Sunday of November. And then after November, I'm going to be doing Vlogmas, and we'll just kind of see what content works and everything, because you know, a few months in advance is kind of difficult to plan, because a few months ago I didn't know that my channel would reach this size, so we're just kind of going with what works currently, and then we'll just change it up if we need to. And the video I have for you guys today is a rant that I filmed a few months ago, and I will be interjecting with clips of me editing because like some things don't come across. I'm a little bit nervous about the topic as I'm talking about it, but now that I sit here and edit, I shouldn't be, because it's not like I'm judging anyone for anything that they're doing. I'm very much pro do whatever the hell you want. It's just an overwhelming societal judgment that I feel that I talk about in this video. It seems like people who purposefully chose this life for themselves, where they get married young and have children young, I'm not coming for you at all. If that's something that you always wanted to do and you're very like happy about it and like happy with your life that you've created for yourself, it seems like those people are leaving me alone, definitely, and are like happy when I do things that make me happy, even if it's different from what they're doing or what they think that like people should do or something. It just seems like the people who are actually coming for me and making things very frustrating are the kind of people who just accidentally found themselves in this position by somehow accidentally not wearing a condom, oopsie, and now this is their life and they're trying to make the best of it. Like, it seems like those kinds of people are just very insistent that that's the thing you have to do because, oh, everybody does it down here. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm going to make mistakes in my life. Marriage is just not going to be one of them. Like, young marriage, that's just not going to be one of them. Like, I might get drunk and get a tattoo while I'm drunk. Why am I pointing at my ass? It's because I would get an ass tattoo when I'm drunk. But I'm not gonna go around and be like, come on guys, like you really should, like I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but all the 21-year-olds are doing it, like all the young, it's a symbol of my youth, okay? It's really good and normal to do. Because when it comes down to it, the majority of 21-year-olds, first of all, are not married, and the majority don't have ass tattoos. This is a really weird metaphor, but what I'm saying is whatever you're doing, whether it seems normal in your location or not, like just let people do what they want to do. Just let people do what they want to do, and don't come at them when they're not doing what you think they should be doing. Like, if they're not on drugs and you're not like genuinely concerned about their life and like trying to stage an intervention because of that, like leave them alone. Because I genuinely feel like people are trying to like stage some kind of intervention for me to get married when that's just none of their business. It's just none of their business. And at this point, I feel like I don't know how to get out of it. I feel like I should just start saying it's, you know, young marriage and any marriage, it's against my Ukrainian religion, okay? It's against my Ukrainian religion, and that might work, actually. There are people who've asked me if my mother is a communist. Yes, a communist. And I've said no, but honestly, hear me out. I should start saying yes, and so am I. And that is the reason I cannot get married, because I am devoted to the motherland. This is my rant video. I just need to finish editing this and upload it because I'm just gonna be angry. I'm just gonna be angry all the time. And I just finished my exam. I should be done being angry, but just editing this is making me angry and I'm so tired. See you next week with more recent stuff. Swiftsgiving is coming. Leave people alone. Let them do what they want to do with their lives, and you do what you want to do with their lives. Screw everybody else. Honestly, just screw everybody else and tell them you're devoted to the motherland, and your life will be so much better. I had the idea to do a rant because I found myself getting really heated last night. It's not really controversial. I just think it's controversial like where I live. This is something that's definitely different for every single person, and what makes me happy will not necessarily make you happy and vice versa. But the thing is, just with where I live, it feels I feel like I'm in the minority, but I also kind of feel like out there in the rest of the world, this isn't that strange of a way of thinking to have. As some of you may know, I come from a Soviet and a Yankee union. See what I did there? And I live in the Bible Belt, and I'm going to lose my mind. There's all these expectations of like people need to get married, and like they need to get married now. You know, I see a lot of my friends' parents and they're very like, they're like, when are you gonna give me grandchildren? And like, when are you gonna get married? And like, it feels like that's like expected of me, even though my parents are very not like that at all. And I just want to thank my parents for that, honestly. Like, you guys are the real ones. It doesn't seem like they really give a shit if or when I'm going to get married. Like, they genuinely just don't care. Like, I feel like what they're concerned about is when you're done with college, like, you're gonna be making a lot of money, right? I don't know, the ideals are just so much different. Like, if I got pregnant, my mom would finish me. First of all, I can't even imagine going up to her and saying like, I want to get married. Like, that's like weird. And then my dad, like, I don't know, I don't think he cares. And then I have an older half brother who's like in his 30s now and he's not married, he doesn't have kids, and like it's not like a weird thing. And I don't think it is a weird thing. Like, nobody in my family's acting like it is. But then like if I say that to other people, it's like big weird to them. Like, I don't know, my parents aren't the kind of parents who are like, when are you gonna give me grandchildren, you 21-year-old kid? God, I'm surrounded by these types of people and I just am going batshit crazy, to be completely honest with you. I'll have guys sliding into my DMs and I'm taken, first of all. Like, I have a boyfriend and they just act so strange when I say I've dated him for 3 years and we're not like married. Like, we got together when we were just like barely 18, and some people like think you should get married after like a year. Why would I get married at 19? At that point, I'd never worked a day in my life. Like, 19 years old and like getting married. Like, that just, is that weird to you? Because it feels weird to me, but I feel like I'm the only one that thinks that in the environment that I'm in. And everyone around me is just like having so many babies. And I don't know why that's just like started to become an expectation, because like my peers have been having babies since we were like 11 years old, and it's like been a common thing because I live in the South. And you know, at some point it became like not frowned upon anymore, and I would say it kind of became that way pretty fast. Like, I feel like 17 and 18-year-olds are having babies, and that's when it shifted from like people reacting like, oh shit, to like, congratulations. But yeah, there's this guy that was like in my DMs like a couple years ago when I was 19, and I said I had been dating my boyfriend for a year, and he was very confused why we hadn't gotten married yet, and like thought that was some kind of sign that the relationship's not going well, but it just means like, I don't want can get married. Also, another thing I want to point out, this same guy that I'm mentioning, he was saying, well, if he loves you, then he would marry you. Like, if he loved me, he would keep that shit away from me, first of all. And also, his reasoning, he was like a lot older than me. I don't know what business he had even trying to talk to me, but he was saying, his reasoning was, well, I was married at 19 and I straight up said to him, and divorced at 20. Because he was. I saw his social media, he was divorced at 20, so he can just like take it and stick it somewhere not in my face. I think it's also because like people who start dating at 18, they break up pretty quickly. Like, most people who start dating when they're 18 don't last, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, it's just something that it feels like it's expected of me and like pushed down my throat. Yeah, I have friends' parents who think I'm like really strange for not wanting to get married. And like people will say, well, why won't you do it? Like, you could get like tax breaks or something. First of all, I don't know anything about taxes, so like I don't have any authority to speak on that. The divorce rate in my state is so high. Like, it's so high. I will insert a statistic if I find it. To be like, let's get married for a tax break, it just doesn't. And also, it might be a very bad financial decision. Like, there are some cases where it's a good idea. Like, if I wanted to have a kid, I would get married because like I feel like that's just like a better way to do things. But I'm not just gonna up and get married because I want a tax break. Like, there are other things I can do to get a tax break. Getting married for a tax break? People look at me like I'm weird when I say I've dated my boyfriend a long time and I haven't married him. But you have to realize, like, I'm 21 years old and that's weird to like get married while I'm like living at my parents' house, and like I have no idea what kind of job I'm gonna take when I graduate or where I'm gonna live, and it just doesn't make any sense to me to like do all of that backwards and like get married now just for sake because like I've dated him for too long or something, and then like figure out where I'm gonna live and where I'm gonna work and like how to be like a functioning adult after that. That's just not the thing I want to do. I'm very cautious about marriage, and I think it's like a big deal, and divorces are nothing to joke about. I come from parents who met each other and then got engaged within 3 days, and they're still together after like 22 years, and I can still recognize that that is an anomaly. That is not something that I should go out and do. I never became like a hopeless romantic because of that, because I think I like grew up seeing around me, a lot of my friends had like stepmoms and stepdads and like all these like really mixed like just just like people divorcing like crazy, and I kind of like saw that from myself and recognized that like my parents are definitely the exception here. And like I understand people who want to do that, like they should do that, but it's also strange that that's still the norm when like, this is about to go off on a weird tangent, when the Earth's population is way too high. Like it is skyrocketing, and to continue to encourage people to like aspire to like having 3 kids and like, I don't know, especially when they don't want to, if that's something they want, then they should do that. But it shouldn't be like marketed and like encouraged. I feel like that's the norm. That's the like way to do things or whatever. And then people who think that they can get more fulfillment from like pursuing things purely for themselves feel like there's something wrong with them because they don't want to like pop out a whole bunch more kids and like have this giant carbon footprint, and that just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I also never want to have kids, and I'm just gonna like touch on that because it's not super relevant to the topic. I have severe tocophobia. I never want to give birth in my life. I would rather be dead than pregnant, etc. I feel like later in life, maybe if I wanted to have a kid, I would just adopt and like be comfortable with that, especially because you can like pick the gender and like it just seems like a whole lot more appealing to me. I don't know, I feel like pregnancy is a scam. You really can't pick it. You have no idea what's about to come out. It's a lot of, it just doesn't sound fun to me, and like I don't see the point in getting married. I don't know, this is just me right now at 21 years old and like being overwhelmed, everybody telling me I need to get married. But I also wanted to read you guys the post that I saw online that like inspired me to like go on this tangent and really like dig into my psyche about these things. Okay, I don't know who these people are. Let me just read it to you. I'm gonna pop it up here. Okay, so it says Cassie spent 10 years with Diddy and they broke up with nothing but memories to show for a decade together. Then she met someone else and got engaged and pregnant in less than 1 year. I've been saying it for years. These men know what they want and who they want it from. Don't let your boyfriend keep you from your husband, sis. Life is too short. You could meet someone today who has better intentions for you than a man you've known for 10 years. And I like reposted it and I said, I don't know if I'm just missing the point of this as an anti-child marriage kind of girl, but equating a man who wants to get you ASAP pregnant with good intentions just doesn't sound right. You don't get nothing from a 10-year relationship just because you don't have a crotch goblin or a court date to show for it. I don't know. But yeah, this whole thing just like didn't sit right with me. Like to say that you spent 10 years with someone and you broke up with nothing but memories to show for it. Like, did you want a court date and a kid? Like, did you really? I don't think just because you don't have a kid with someone, it's like all for nothing. But also it sounds like a relief that if you're dating someone for 10 years and you decide to break up and you don't have a kid tying you to that person that you're trying to separate yourself from, or a divorce. Divorces are very expensive. I think it's good to not get divorces. That's just me. But also the fact that they're like glorifying that she got out of this relationship and met this man and he immediately got her pregnant. Like he has such good intentions. He wanted to get her pregnant like so fast. That's weird. It's kind of like if she ultimately wants a family and marriage from a guy, why is she not straight up with him from the start? Like I feel like you date someone for 10 years, like that conversation has to come up eventually. Like what you want out of life and out of a relationship and where you see it going. Like it's kind of on you if you spend 10 years like wasting your time when you want to ultimately have a family. It really made me think of Halsey and like how many miscarriages she's had, and she's been very straight up like in the media. I think there's a quote where she said when she dates someone, she specifically is like very upfront with like, are you wanting to have children? Because if not, I have to go like date someone else. She even specifically has a song about a failed relationship where she says, I'm glad I didn't have a baby with you. I'm not the only one here. She wasn't like, oh, we were together and now I have nothing to show for it. Like she was like, I'm glad. I'm gonna go find someone else now. Because she only has so many more chances. Like she wants to have a kid. She's not like around. She's taking responsibility to like start that conversation, and that's what I feel like you should do. You shouldn't just like be in a 10-year relationship with a man, get all salty because you don't have a kid to show for it, and then just like get pregnant as fast as you can with another guy and be like, this man has such good intentions. It could have been an accident even. Like I don't see how that means he's such a good guy. That's scary. Like that's really scary. I just hate where I am and how people, like everybody's sharing this. Like it's just the most amazing thing. And like some people have agreed with me. But yeah, that's my rant on marriage and why I think it's stupid to glorify a guy who gets you pregnant really fast as a guy who's super good. This was really spur of the moment. I hadn't planned this video out at all. I just got mad and decided to film. But I feel like this is definitely something that like people can discuss in the comments, and it can just be a good conversation because everyone's different. But that's also a good question. Like how soon do you think you should bring that kind of conversation up? Like whether you want to have kids or not. I feel like I was very quick in my relationship to be like, you don't want kids, do you? I don't know. That's just something I feel like you should clarify, because otherwise I'd just be sitting there like, what is he expecting of me? Let me know your thoughts down below because I'm curious what other people think outside of this state, honestly, because I'm a little overwhelmed with all of it. All the babies, all the like 19-year-old marriages. It freaks me out a little. That's just me. Everybody's always up my ass about it. So give this video a big thumbs up, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let me know if you want to see more like rant, like chill, like talking with you guys kind of videos, because I can certainly do that. And I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye. I know that we